You're listening to Miss Style, Strength, and Grace with Deidra Murphy. This is your one-stop shop for style, fashion, health, and fitness. Deidra's passion is to help empower women to reach their fullest potential, both inside and out. Deidra and her guests will be discussing how to develop your style, health, and lifestyle hacks to energize your day and inspire you to keep reaching higher levels of success. Deidra is a professional fashion stylist, health guru, and Mrs. Washington 2017. It's time to get open and honest with Deidra.
Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Miss Style, Strength, and Grace with me, Deidra Murphy, your current Mrs. Washington America. And as most of you know, my platform as Mrs. Washington is all about educating my community and those around me about holistic health. And typically most people think of proactive approaches to health, like eating right, exercising, using supplements, that kind of thing. But a huge portion of being proactive about our health is what products we put on our body. I get asked all the time what personal products, makeup, cosmetics, things I use that are non-toxic. And because I get asked so much and there's so many products that I use, I would love to just share some of my favorites on an episode today. So today we're going to talk about not only my favorite personal care products, but before we dive into that, I want to share, why we need to be so concerned about what products we're using on our bodies as well as internally, and really think about not only our personal health, our longevity, but the health and safety of our children, our friends, our family members, and think about really what we're putting on our bodies. So there's over 13,000 chemicals that are typically used in cosmetic products, but only about 10% have been evaluated for safety. And although the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has the authority to regulate harmful ingredients in cosmetics and personal care products, often they don't exercise it. Further, cosmetics that it can come on the market can be on there without any type of approval necessarily. It's only after a product is deemed to be harmful or misbranded can the FDA actually get involved and take regulatory action. So I'm going to be talking about a group called the Environmental Working Group, or EWG, as I'm going to refer to it throughout this podcast. They went and evaluated and tested teens to find out which chemicals in personal care products were actually found in their bodies. And 16 different hormone-altering chemicals, including parabens and phthalates, were detected. 16 in these teenagers. Now, a lot of these chemicals not only lead to early menopause, but even an early decline in ovarian function, and that can lead to early development of heart disease, osteoporosis, but also many of the chemicals mentioned in the studies have been linked to health risks, including cancer, metabolic syndrome, and even early puberty. Now, I can't cover all of those 13,000 chemicals that are harmful to our bodies, but I really want to talk about some of the major offenders. The first major offender that I would love for you to start avoiding and looking for on your labels is parabens. This is a chemical typically found in deodorants, lotions, hair products, lots of cosmetics, but it's been shown to mimic the action of the female hormone estrogen, which can actually drive the growth of human breast tumors. A study published in 2012 suggested that parabens from antiperspirants and other cosmetics also appear to increase your risk of breast cancer. So the research looked at where breast tumors were appearing and determined that higher concentrations of parabens were actually found in the upper quadrants of the breast and the axillary area, where that's where we typically apply antiperspirants and deodorants. So we're going to talk about some of my favorite alternatives to antiperspirants and deodorants later in the episode. The next biggest offender is sodium lauryl sulfate. This is a surfactant, and it's also a detergent and an emulsifier used in thousands of cosmetic and even soap products. It's also in industrial cleaners. It's present in nearly all shampoos, scalp treatments, hair colors, bleaching agents, toothpastes, body washes, even just laundry soap, cleansers. you name it. And if it is some sort of soap, it probably has sodium lauryl sulfate in there. The next one is phthalates. These are plasticizing or plasticizing. I don't know how to say that correctly, so bear with me. But these ingredients have been linked to birth defects and the reproductive system, not only of boys and lower sperm count in adult men, but they are often hidden in shampoo labels under the generic term of fragrance. Now, it's an important thing to remember that your skin is your largest and most permeable organ. So just about anything you put on your skin will end up in your bloodstream and will end up distributed throughout your entire body. So once these chemicals find a way into your body, they tend to accumulate over time because you lack the necessary enzymes to break them down and fully flush them out of your system. So those are the 2 or 3 biggest ones that I would suggest to avoid when you're looking at labels. So anything that has some sort of sodium lauryl sulfate, sulfate somewhere in the word, phthalate, or parabens, get that out of your products like right now. If that's the one place to start there. So I'm not telling you all of this to scare you, but I just want to help you realize the long-term effects that toxic beauty and personal care products can have on your health and your longevity and for your children and family. Truth be told, I'm not perfect at using non-toxic products by any means, but I think I've eliminated about 90% of the toxic products that I used to use. Now, keep in mind, if I need to be on stage for, say, a pageant or competition, you better believe I'm busting out my MAC High Coverage Long Wear Foundation. However, that's only a few times a year that I need to be such stage ready and wear such high coverage makeup. The rest of the time I wear and use these non-toxic products on a daily basis. So these are all products that I personally use, I've tested, I love, and I know and I like, and none of this content is sponsored in any way. So I'm being 100% honest with you, and it's not for some sort of kickback or sponsorship from any of these companies and organizations. I simply decided to share these with you because I want to share the most healthy ways to stay beautiful and confident. And I will try to include as many of the product links in today's show notes as well. I will be referencing the EWG safety ratings. If you head to ewg.org, you can actually search their database for toxicity ratings for thousands of personal products. So you can just type in like Estee Lauder double wear makeup and look and see how toxic is it? What's in there that's bad for you? What's their rating from the EWG, the Environmental Working Group? And really decide for yourself, like, okay, what products do I want to use and what products do I want to get rid of based on this rating system? My first favorite brand, I'm going to talk a lot because a lot of the products that I use are from this brand. It is called 100% Pure. You can get it at 100%pure.com. I stumbled upon this line. Actually, we were traveling back from Maui and we had a layover in the San Francisco airport. And this company actually has a little shop there, a little boutique. Maybe it's still there. I don't know. It's been a couple years, but it was so awesome to get to try out multiple products, not only in the store, test the colors, feel, look, and see how the products are made, but also get samples. The girl was nice enough to make little sample containers for me. And a lot of their products you can actually buy in sample sizes. So their lotions or their foundations, you can get a little sample pack. So then if you try it, you don't like it, you didn't spend $40 and feel like you've wasted it. But not only that, they have a really good return policy anyway, whether you buy in-store or online. So even if you try something out, you use it up, you don't like it, you can send it back and get your money back. So all of their products are literally 100% pure, 100% organic, non-toxic, vegan. So that means they're also animal and cruelty free. And their colors are derived from natural fruit pigments. So don't be afraid to give this company a try. I think you're going to like it. My number one favorite product from them is their coffee bean caffeinated eye cream. I really suffer with dark circles and tenderness and puffiness around my eye area. And this cream helps depuff, moisturize, and help with like the flakiness and dry skin around my eye area. I use it both in the morning and at night. But I also like their Purest Pine Bark Eye Balm. It's a little bit more oily, so I don't use it during the day. Otherwise, no makeup, it's going to stay around my dark circles on my eyes. But it's amazing overnight as it's really moisturizing. It helps rejuvenate the sensitive areas around my skin, or my eyes, at nighttime. And it's, like I said, it's a little bit more oily, so it really soaks in while I'm sleeping overnight. The next couple items that both my husband and I actually love is their shampoo and conditioners. Because it's free of all the nasty sulfates, it's not going to lather quite as nice as, say, normal shampoo like, I don't know, Vidal Sassoon or whatever you would find at the grocery store. But it will leave your hair feeling nice, clean, shiny, and soft. Personally, we love the Glossy Locks repair line. And like I said, it's just really going to help your hair feel soft and smooth, and you don't have to worry about all the nasty sulfates in there. I love their lipstick. This stuff is so moisturizing, and it's full of shea butter and lots of other natural products to keep your lips soft and supple. And I found that the shades are pretty true to color. Granted, the shades I've picked out in the store itself. So there is a little bit of differentiation between the colors and how you see them online versus in person. So try some out, see if you like it. If you don't like it, return it. If you can find a 100% pure standing store, definitely go in and see the colors in person. My favorite color is called Foxglove. It has a nice sheen to it. It's kind of a pinky nude color, which is my go-to for lipstick. And I love that it's a creamy consistency. I suffer with dry lips, so then it doesn't settle into all the fine lines, the wrinkles, and make my lips look flaky. I really want to try out their matte lipstick. So if you go and you find some matte lipstick in a great color, let me know, because I would be interested in trying it out. I am in love with their body butters and body creams. They're so rich and creamy, so moisturizing, and I can't get enough of the vanilla bean scent. I seriously want to start like licking my hands after I put it on. And they have great sizes. So they have the body butters that are a little bit more thick in consistency, and they have the creams that are in more like tubes, so a little bit nicer to throw in your bag and have for a hand lotion on the go. But all of them smell amazing, and they have everything from coconut scents to fruit scents to the vanilla scents, and they, just like I said, smell incredible. The last thing that I wanted to share about from this company is their pressed powdered colors for the face. So they have everything from eyeshadows to blushes, highlights, bronzers, contours, whatever. And they even have palettes. My favorite palette is called the Sex Kitten palette, but they have colors available by the single pods or lots of different palettes to choose from. So be sure to check out their beauty products as well. Now let's move on and talk about foundation. Foundation can be one of the biggest offenders when it comes to toxic chemicals, especially with a lot of them having titanium and other, things that will help with the coloring for the shades. So two of my favorite foundations, the first one is Tarte Amazonian Clay, the loose powder foundation. Out of all the mineral foundations and powders that I've tried, I love the buildable coverage of this product. After applying it all over my face, I spray my face with a mist of water, and the foundation kind of turns into a dewy formula even after the water mist has dried. I found the best application is with a kabuki brush, and this product is very well rated with the EWG for toxic standards. Start off with a very light layer of this, as the product can build up really fast. The next product that I really love for foundation is actually by Jane Iredale, and it's her mineral makeup. It's a little bit lighter in coverage for my taste, but it can be built up to a more medium to semi-full coverage, and it has a nice iridescent glow, and again, a low rating for toxicity with the EWG. Cleansers, again, going back to those sulfate products, I use a gentle foaming wash by Kiss My Face. I find that at my local grocery store, and it has a little bit of an exfoliating feature which helps naturally build or turn over the cells for my acne prone skin. Okay, now remember at the beginning I talked about some of the biggest offenders being found in our deodorant products. Look for something without the aluminum. So aluminum is the ingredient in antiperspirants that actually clogs our pores, and that's what prevents the sweating. But aluminum exposure has been linked with not only the development of Alzheimer's disease, it also interferes with our estrogen levels. So when your body can't process estrogen properly, there's a higher risk for both breast cancer in women and prostate cancer in men. So skip the antiperspirant part and look for just a natural deodorant. I personally use the Jason brand lavender scented deodorant. Now again, it doesn't prevent sweating. It just helps, mask the odor after, say, a hard workout or a run on the treadmill. My husband actually likes this stuff called Pit Paste. He finds that on Amazon, and he actually likes the lavender scent as well. Again, it's a very light scent in the lavender, but it helps with, kind of rejuvenating that smell, especially under our armpits, right? You can also find natural crystal deodorants. Those are a good option. It's funny because it's a solid. You get it wet and then you apply it directly to the major offenders on your body, and it helps kind of deodorize those parts. Toothpaste. Let's talk about toothpaste. There's a lot of controversy when it comes to what we put in our mouth. The main ingredient to stay away from in toothpaste is actually fluoride. I know that's going to sound surprising because what happens when you go to the dentist? They say, oh, you need to use products with fluoride, or the city might say, hey, let's put fluoride in the water to help increase the teeth strength for our children. Well, actually, studies have shown that long-term ingestion is harmful to the brain, digestive system, heart, bones, and even the tooth enamel that it's supposed to help. There's a lot more we could go into that, and I could possibly do a whole different podcast just on fluoride, but let's just stick to what I'm talking about today in natural personal care products that I myself love and use. I love doTERRA's On Guard toothpaste. I, again, could do an entire podcast just on essential oils, but let's just save that for a future episode. The doTERRA On Guard toothpaste, again, it's not going to foam up as much as, say, like a Crest toothpaste will, but it will have a whitening effect, and it's still going to leave your breath and teeth feeling fresh and clean and ready to go on that date with your handsome man, so you can feel like you're ready to kiss him at the end of the night. The last big personal care product that I wanted to talk about is sunscreen. Again, another controversial topic. On the one hand, we don't want to burn. Not only is it painful and embarrassing to get a sunburn, but it can lead to skin cancer. However, most of the sunblocks on the market today contain chemicals that actually are endocrine disruptors, estrogenic, and may interfere with thyroid and other hormone processes in the body. Not to mention, many of the chemicals in sunblock are actually linked to cancer. So what's a person supposed to do? Are you supposed to go ahead and burn in the sun and possibly get skin cancer from your burns? Or do you use a sunblock that can be linked to cancer? I know it's a catch-22. The solution is to look for a sunblock that uses minerals to block the harmful UVA and UVB rays. So blocks or sunblocks that contain zinc oxide or titanium dioxide actually create a physical barrier to protect the skin from the sun, and these minerals are not absorbed by the skin and into the bloodstream. My favorite brand is called Raw Elements. They even have a stick formula, but they also have a tube squeeze bottle formula. I find that the stick formula is nice for travel because it's not counted as a liquid. So one other liquid that I don't have to put in my little 4-ounce size containers, right? And They even have a tinted moisturizer sunblock, which helps keep from that unsightly white face look. I always remember that scene on that movie, The Sandlot, where Squints wants to kiss the lifeguard Wendy Peppercorn, but the other lifeguard has the completely white nose. Well, it's because of the minerals in this type of sunblock. So we don't want to have that look. Use the tinted moisturizer sunblock. It'll prevent that. So again, the only drawback to these types of sunblock is it does take a little more effort to really rub it in so your skin doesn't appear white. But isn't avoiding the long-term effects of cancer worth that extra 2 minutes to distribute the product evenly? Okay, I know I spoke about a lot of products today and it's probably really overwhelming. And these aren't all the natural products that I use. So the biggest thing to do is to start educating yourself. Read labels, avoid the biggest chemical offenders, like sulfates, parabens, and fragrances. So fragrances, I know I didn't talk about it a lot, but I personally don't use any sort of perfumes or fragrances because of the toxicity load. Fragrances are actually one of the most toxic personal products that people use, so I just avoid them. I like to use natural essential oils or fragrances that are all from natural essential oils mixed with like oils such as coconut oil to help it spread onto the skin a little bit better. Again, that's a whole other podcast talking about essential oils and oils in general. I recommend using EWG.org to search for your personal products and find out their toxicity rating. If a product gets 5 or higher on the rating, I would highly suggest finding an alternative product. If you have a personal care product question or question about toxicity in general, please email them to me at Deidra@StyleByDeidra to have your question answered in a future episode. Like I said, I'm going to list as many of these products, or at least the links to the brands, in the show notes for today, so check that out. If you liked this episode and you're listening to it, take a screenshot and tag me on your Instagram story. I will feature you back with a shout out and a thanks for listening. So again, thank you all for listening today, and I hope you start changing up your personal care products.
Hey ladies, thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. To help empower more women, please be a doll and rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. For show notes and other free resources we mentioned today, go to StyleByDeidra.com.